Oh, very good evening. Welcome back to my channel. This is Paul, your host for this evening. And wherever you are, welcome. My only request to you is to go and hit that like and subscribe before we kickstart. And today's session is going to be very clear. If looking at uh, my thumbnail, it says top food trends in 2023 in India, specifically from Bangalore. I belong to Bangalore, and my channel is called Royal Bangalore Food. All right, without any further delay, let's dive in quickly because this is to understand for a lot of entrepreneurs like me and startups like me. We are trying to crave in what is the right business opportunity when it comes to food is concerned. See, today, if you look at the G20 summit, we look at the entire world is moving towards the sustainability, zero wastage, making sure that whatever food that you produce is actually from the farmer and it raised directly from farm to your plate, fork, and how it can be go ahead and utilize and also help you in terms of your taste, in terms of quality, in terms of hygiene, without any great added preservatives. These are the foods which actually can go ahead and help you to create a lot of business opportunities. So remind you with that, I'm going to leave it up to that. I'm going to kickstart explaining few important aspects and trends. I'm sure you might be knowing about it, but also how can you leverage in current scenario and make this as a great business opportunity. It's going to be the talk of the town. So without wasting further time, let's kickstart and let's begin this. So, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul. People who don't know, I have a channel called Royal Bangalore Food. I also have another Instagram channel and also on Facebook. It's all about Royal Bangalore Food. It's also about specifying and explaining and helping folks around the globe and also specifically in India, explaining them and making them helpful to understand. By these are the key takeaway points that you need to watch out for watching my channels. Anyway, so India predominantly has always been a vegetarian country, right? Predominantly the southeast, I mean the south and the eastern part of India is predominantly a meat-eating loving nations. Now, it's not that comparatively to the US and to European continent or any other part of the world, even in Africa, meat is considered more. It's either consumed more comparatively to India because India is going to be only on lunch or dinner, nothing on the breakfast. Even if it is the breakfast, very niche crowd, only in Kerala, probably in Tamil Nadu. But otherwise, it's going to be predominantly, vegetarian, vegetarian prone state that we call it as. And rapidly, things are changing. Everybody, or rather, most of the vegetarians or most of the well-known meat eaters are moving towards the plant-based diet. So I'm going to give you a small few points, around close to 3 or 4 points, maximum five. Let me see what I can do if time permits. It's already 9:30 out here in Indian Standard Time. So wherever you're watching, if you middle this deep end, I would request you to go ahead and hit that bell notification. Keep understanding what I want to do in this particular YouTube channel. It's going to clearly helping you to scale your businesses, how to build a brand in certain technology using food technology and food science, and obviously in terms of unique products or probably unique concepts of understanding food in per se. And how do we do this in India? Because diversity is multicultural, multi-diversity. Every 5 blocks away, it's a different cuisine out here. So you need to embrace and love those amazing food is available and gather that in a business opportunity. How you do a revenue based, how you sustain for longer duration. You might have a great product, you might have a great concept. If you do not have a market to sell, there is no point you go ahead and having it. Whatever year it might take to scale, it's just that you will eventually burn out and die down. So, not worst. I mean, let's look at the first point. The first point is that spotlight on the regional Indian cuisine. As I spoke earlier, I'm a huge fan of a regional Indian cuisine because I come from a small state from Bangalore, in the city called Bangalore. Predominantly is a cosmopolitan as we speak. Way back 30 years ago, Bangalore was only predominantly South Indian food, a sleepy town, a pensioner's paradise. People would wake up as late as 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they would hit the bed by 7 o'clock or 7:30 because the weather was chill. Now, a complete transformation because of Silicon Valley and IT. Still, regional cuisines we see cropping up here and there, but predominantly Karnataka, and every state as we speak in India has every district has its own cuisines. Just to give you an idea, look at Karnataka. Since I belong to this part of the world, I can help you with it. One is the Kurg cuisine, my favorite go-to-go cuisine. They consume meat even in the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, supper, brunch. Whichever time do they get, and they thrive on pork. They thrive on chicken. They thrive on mango. They thrive on wild bamboos. Wild flowers, wild tapioca. So there's so many products which is available, vegetables, vegetations, crops. They are good to go with that, right? So similarly, Mangalore. Mangalore, you have amazing cuisine. You have Batkal. You have the Andhra belt of it. You get amazing non-vegetarian and vegetarian food, right? So we are blessed with. So you have to just make sure that have an expert chef to make sure that you dive on your cuisine and stick with that particular niche subject of regional Indian cuisines, specifically from South India, because since we're talking about South India, it's going to be clearly identification that regional Indian cuisine is going to be the next future trends or food trends, specifically in India, right? And see, what do you need from a chef or a restaurant? You need to see how innovation can you serve. It's not that how you serve. Yes, we all serve it in the banyan leaf. Yes, it has a fat content. It looks really bright and warm to the plate that we eat. It also looks fresh. It gives you that quality. It gives you that aroma. These are the materialistics of the food. The concept is that how well, for example, if you're looking at the Goan cuisine, there's one particular red chili called Aldano chili or Aldano chili. These is red chili, similar to the Kashmiri chili or Bedige chili from Karnataka. But the context, the aroma, the spice level of that, and the redness of the curry is completely complex when you have a Goan cuisine, right? If it is be it shakuti or if it is your any kind of ricotta masalas, whatever it is required, fish curry or prawn masala, prawn curry or chicken curry or mutton or beef, whatever you said. Vindaloo, for the matter of fact, from Goan Portuguese style, not the concrete style, the original, the Portugal taught Portuguese pork vindaloo specifically, or chicken vindaloo, or a mutton vindaloo, or so-called red meat vindaloo, anything which goes great, but always goes with pork, right? So such kind of regional cuisines that has to be embraced and loved and stick to that priority, and also utilizing food technology and food science by using a mechanism or an equipment to help you with it. So these, it's going to be the spotlight on regional cuisines, explaining the innovative way, indigenous ingredients, as I mentioned about this Aldano chili, gain popularity through social media because the entire market is going to be yours. Who not love Goan food, right? Because the whole India goes to Goa for party, to see the beaches, the sunset out there. Everything looks serene and beautiful. So, South Indian regional cuisine is one of the greatest food trend you need to watch out for. Making sure that you have. See, today look at G20. I forgot the chef's name. I think Chef Sushil or Sunil. I forgot. He had portrayed millet-based food. Millet is found in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, wherever there is a dry area, doesn't require a lot of water. He innovated with millets. There are 8 types of millets. South India is predominantly blessed with all the millets. In Karnataka, we use ragi, bajra, jowar, you have foxtail millet, you have horse grains. So many millets can be utilized and created. See, unlike in Turkey, you have couscous, right? You have a quenwa. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pronouncing it. Quenwa or quinoa, okay? So these particular millets can actually help you to, diversify the entire South Indian regional cuisine. Because even before rice could come, millets was always available in India. Can you just beat it? Way back 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, the 6th century or first century onwards, millet was always grown in India. People have forgotten about it. It's just that people have to make utilize the lesser known ingredients, making their way into your particular restaurants or the cloud kitchen is going to be the food trend to watch out for. Okay, that's the second point. Modern and accessible Indian food. See, today Indian food is a complex cuisine. Let's be honest. You need a lot of time. The preparation starts, for example, jungly mutton, or it could be rogan josh, it could be even the Indian South Indian curry. For example, in Kerala we have coconut varta archa curry, which means that all the masalas has been first fried, slowly sauteed, different types of masalas. First goes with your spices, then comes your garam masalas, then comes your whole spices, then comes your herbs, then comes your dry coconut, then comes your meat. Everything is being pounded, grounded, then sauteed, slow cooking. It takes minimum 2 hours to go ahead and get this masala, and then the cooking preparation of another 1 hour cooking and 20 minutes of resting. By the time you eat lunch, it's already 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening, which happens eventually at home. So you have to modernize and accessible about the Indian food, specifically the regional Indian food, making sure that it's also accessible to a lot of people who do know. Because what I've mentioned is about Goa. Many Indian community or many youngsters across India comes to Goa to visit and also try their own cuisine. So similarly, if you do something related to the new technology, you have to embrace the modernized way of accessing equipments, your manpower resources, everything matters a lot. For example, a dish like black carrot kofta, right? Just imagine a black color. So there's also black chutney. All you have to infuse is charcoal, right? If you're looking at stir fried, anything with stir fried, India never use stir fried. We always use with in context with vegetables, the porils or the bhaji, what we call it as, but still no concept of stir fry like Chinese cuisine. So if you can use stir fry by using cabbage and seasonal vegetables, that can be added value, like how shashuka from Turkey. Again, I'm a huge fan of Lebanese, Turkey, and Gulf food, Mediterranean food. I was there and I could feel why Indians are missing it, because Indians do not have the leverage of cheese. We have paneer, but adding cheese to that extra glory of morning food, morning breakfast is concerned, amazing. Eggs, cheese, any kind of fat, and also it could be some kind of protein in forms of vegetables is concerned, right? Because it's cheese anyway is going to be heavy. So accessible to modernizing food is going to be the greatest customers experimental, and this going to create a very nice dining experiences when they look at your food in the online or the offline, or if it is a fine dine restaurant as well. That's a great second point. And the third point is about induced food and dining styles. India has never been yes, we have hospitality, customer service. We've been feeding a lot of rishis and gurus and guests. We call Atithi Devo Bhava, which means that a guest is like a god. So anytime the guest walks in, at any home, at any Indian home, be it small, big, joint, nucleus, anybody, the food will be the primary goal for socializing. Festivals across, coming into the festival time, we would always share our sweets and your Diwalis and Dasheras and Christmas and New Year. It's been a greatest tradition, including the Ramadan biryani, the faluda, the sweets. So we always been in the nostalgic feeling to sharing and caring of Indian food. But having seen that, in terms of what will actually give you that spin for the menu, is all about utilizing these particular nitty gritty of desserts. If you're doing a biryani, look at Hyderabad, right? They always do a biryani with Kubani ka meeta, what we call it as the apricots dessert. Greatest dessert ever. Too sweet to follow up with the spiciest biryani that you ever had. Great in context, provided that tropical climate allows you to eat. But when it comes to Bangalore, the sweet is not the greatest option. But you will end up looking at the Indian Bangalorean cuisine called Feni, right? Penny, what we call it as, mixed with badam milk. Greatest Brahmin food in Bangalore. Always thrived. Even today, even last weekend, I had it. So you need to understand how well you can go ahead and create this menu and make customers seek such kind of menu and induce some kind of flavor, some and mix and match of various cuisines is going to be the greatest strength moving on. Okay. And also it's going to be pre-plated, like how thali is all about. Similarly, you could do non-veg combo with Kashmiri food with Goan and or a Kurgi style. It's going to be the greatest asset. You can use one dish from Kashmiri like berry pulao. You can use the batti, or so-called the fried potato chips from Parsi, and then create a ghee rice with your chili, green chili chicken paste, spiciest gravy. So it's going to be greatest asset. You're going to get crunchy. You're going to get a little bit of sour and sweet from the berries from the berry pulao. So greatest. So you have to do that pre-plated thalis, making sure that it's going to be catered, and this is going to be gaining immense popularity. You'll have your customers of catering, you'll have cloud, you'll have boxes to be packed. So it's going to be the greatest asset. People have not done it. I have not seen mixing the various cuisines from everywhere else. They play around with desserts, but I would also suggest, for example, the Pakistani greatest breakfast, puri with halwa. nobody tries it in India because we have kesari bath in context, but nothing goes great with shira and puri in the north, along with some great lassi in the morning or a great chai in the morning. I mean, the mouth is watering. Let me just gulp in for a while. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so what I was trying to tell you is that inducing and pre-plated sit-down meals can actually cater and get customer gain a lot of popularity to these foods. And I mean, also, again, everybody focuses on the plates and cutleries. Yes, it is also required. But since you're doing a cloud kitchen or a fine dine will not help you with this because it's going to be, they can order whatever they want. But in terms of cloud kitchen, in terms of, food truck options, very authentic places that you do in a tech park or probably in a very commercialized society, there's going to be a value add. So nostalgia induced food and dining style is going to be the next great trends for the future. And since we all talk about the future, we all are millennials right now. I might be from the 80s. There are many millennials today who do not like to waste food. Everybody's in healthy segments. Most of the workout gyms, strict regime of food diet. I mean, there are many folks also. I know my friends who always dine in and pub and beer and whiskeys and going on with junks of food. There's also equal part of people who literally sacrosanct, go to gym in the morning, come back, go to work, also hit the gym in the evening, do two sessions, a lot of whey proteins, protein powders. So what I'm trying to tell you is that zero waste approach of food is going to be the next food trend. So you have to analyze. It's not that how much you cook, the amount of the facility in terms of a zero waste approach to the food. For this could be a vision statement when you start your restaurants. This will be the greatest because you can always promote your market on the greatest asset, saying, hey, you know what, our restaurant focuses or our cloud kitchen focuses on zero waste policy. So I would not require anybody else to go and waste this food. If you do not like this food, you can always resend it and probably we can do something else. So these are not the greatest trend that you can ever do. And also, looking at a lot of meat in terms of plant-based. See, look at today, plant-based is going to be the greatest asset. Yet, I would say I'm being a greatest meat eater and also a vegetarian eater. Look at Onam Sadhya. We just had 21 dishes of pure divinity of vegetarian food. You need a relief to just relax because you get three types of payasam mixed with banana, papadam, or so-called papad, and then then you go hit that the lovely lunch on the evening after post lunch of Onam. It's like your entire glucose level is shot up to the glory of God, and then you just put it to sleep, and then you relax and you eat for 2 3 days. so so what I'm trying to tell you, zero wastage food. Today, people prepare in restaurants. The amount of chefs and the cooks who don't even bother to calculate your food wastage. I don't know what do they do with the food wastage, but eventually it all goes to gutter, waste of money, waste of ingredients. So you have to utilize the lesser known facts about the food, how well you can utilize your meat, your plant-based, your vegetables, and utilizing the entire ingredients to make an amalgamation of fantastic food that you serve. That's why today few people I've seen in YouTube, a lot of the influencers, they do cover so many street food. Oh, my goodness gracious, I would request every influencer, I mean, I still have not shot in terms of any food, but I do go to certain food joints and I eat most often. But then wherever I see influencers, just for the heck of it, cover some nuisance food, and I'm sure it is just not even worth to even shoot those kind of food. It literally goes from the plate to dustbin. And I've seen most of the food. I mean, you would hear it from the influencer. People visit randomly to a lot of restaurants, a lot of streets. Specifically, the street food is horrific. It's horrendous. It is just made for dustbins. It is not made for human gut. Because people forget that utilizing all the ingredients and clarity, or even if we serve it in the small portion, smallest of small portion, I would blame only the kitchen team out here because many owners do not understand the food wastage. Where does it happen? Food wastage it's in many contexts. For example, it could be also the staff which is consuming your meat and your food which is being cooked for the guest is being consumed. That's your food wastage, right? Because you're cooked for the guest, you're supposed to be valued for that particular bill or for that invoice or for the food. Unfortunately, your staff has consumed it, and staff just overcook the food. Instead of 50 guests, they cooked it for 100. So 50 food for the packs of 50. End of the day, you have to just throw it down the gutter, right? So there are many the many aspects. The important thing is the sustainability in the food industry is going to be on the rise. Today, how to reuse certain vegetables, dehydration, so many opportunities of food technology has come up, which has to be mandatorily used most often is the greatest subject that you need to watch out is for basically sustainability. Sustainability on the food aspects, on every aspects of the food and beverage industry is going to be the greatest businesses that you can ever leverage on. Okay, the fifth point I would always mix with two things. One is the ferment, because today we saw the sodas, goli sodas coming up. We see a lot of wine, so we see kombuchas, we see ginger ales. All the olden fermented food is going to come into the rice. That's going to continue even the last year. You're going to see a lot of D2C brands coming up in the hyper-local Indian used ingredients today. In Coorg, as we speak, in Kerala, we have everything with wine: tomato wine, passion fruit wine, gooseberry wine, beetle leaf wine, mostly fermented for 6, 7 months, even for a year, and then converted into a lot of healthy drinks. I mean, it matters a lot today. Who's going to give you a beetle leaf wine? Who's going to give you a passion fruit? Who's going to give you a tomato wine? It's been there the trend, so people are going to evolve and create a hyper local ingredients based traditional fermentation process. Food is going to be on the rise, which also includes your vinegar plant based innovation, which is going to be locally sourced in terms of any fruit made as salad, vinaigrette salads. It could be anything related to South Indian or North Indian, predominantly using bird eye chili, your cherry tomatoes, your potatoes, small potatoes. We have something called a Chinese potato, greatest ever vegetable, incomparable, not comparable with any potatoes. Chinese potatoes had as the greatest of a taste factor. Your tapioca, greatest acid, greatest fiber, superb nutrition, high in glycemic index, high sugar content, but similarly, in a very short form, it's the greatest thing. It can be converted into many aspects. You can use a lot of herbs and flowers to convert it into vinaigrette salad and serve it as a salad for the next upcoming. So what I'm trying to say is fermenting and fermentations and vinegar based local source ingredients is going to be the next food trend on the rise. So it's an amazing subject to talk about it. So I mean, people who leverage it will actually do it. If you can ask me a few questions, for example, hey Paul, you know what? Who's going to eat this? There's no market. It's going to be very expensive to source. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about going helping this farmer, talking to him on his root level, understanding what kind of food he can source. You can create a lot of wonders with fruits. There's so much of blessed fruits coming from Arunachal Pradesh. People don't know today. Greatest pineapple comes from Arunachal Pradesh. Greatest apples come from Arunachal Pradesh. Your passion fruit, your butter fruit, so-called your avocados, everything comes from that tropical climate of the entire northeast community. We have better superb lemons, which is it's as great as orange or a grapefruit, which is very sweet, very sour, very tangy. You can use that with a bird eye chili from South India. You can use millet base. So everything under the context of the pricing where you can serve a lot of customers. You just need to utilize Cloud Kitchen as much as possible. Reach out, making sure that you educate your customers. This is going to be the newest trends moving on in terms of food is concerned. My only disclaimer is that stay away from those street food. Poor fellows don't even know what they're doing sometimes, and they cook. And I see, I mean, I see, I see wastage being seen. Well, I mean, I would just cannot do anything else all across India. Across India, street food is completely messed up. And thanks to our millennials and zillennials right now, future is going to be the greatest aspect of food. So with that in mind, the diverse, exciting future is going to be for India moving on in any sector. The food is no left behind. And also from a regional cuisine to a sustainable pricing model and also environmental friendly of plant-based food on the rise. And also for the food enthusiasts like me can actually look forward for the fantastic culinary year moving forward in 2023 and also the coming 2024 and 2025. We've hit with a lot of great, I was, in fact, I was just talking to a lot of cricketers as well, understanding how stadiums can be utilized serving. Because today you see IPL, you see a lot of league matches in across sports, in badminton, in kabaddi, in volleyball, in tennis. I mean, Coco has come up, man. Come on, just is like crazy. The entire India plays Coco, one of the oldest sport of India, apart from kabaddi, hockey league. So every stadium can be utilized and you can serve this food. And sports-based academy food has become one greatest rise. It's not that idli vada dosa, a lot of carbs. It's going to be heavy, sustainable, zero wastage diet is going to be the clear trend moving on 2023. Let me take a breather. I mean, not required. So anyway, so that's a question which I really like to ask. What do you like? If you really like any one of the points, you can leave it in the comments below. And also value add what you like to do and what you like to hear from me moving on. I would do that as a subject and probably a topic to cover with, because this is going to be the greatest value addition you can look forward for on the Indian food trends. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I leave to that. I respect your time and respect listening to me. As I mentioned earlier, if you made it this deep end till now, and if you're still watching, go hit that and like and subscribe. It does a world to me. And I'd like to go ahead and give you greatest luck if you do that. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. And as I said, if you have any questions, leave it on the comments below. Or you can email me at rbsnllc@gmail.com. You can also visit my About Us page on YouTube to get to know my email ID. Thanks for thanks for tuning by. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your patience. Appreciate it. This is Paul signing off. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.